customer support specialist here at iTutor. More on that in a little bit, but yes.
Thanks, Marilyn. So we are going to dive right in. Like I said, we have a packed agenda, really important information and helpful information for you all to be aware of. So quickly, wanted to go over the agenda today. We're going to do a quick overview of the LMS, the timeline, as well as some resources, and then a Q&A. So important things to note is that we will be doing a sneak peek preview of the LMS system. And so we'll take you into the new LMS system 1.5, show you around. And although a lot of educators may not have access to it yet, we wanted to allow our educators to see the enhancements and the design in this webinar. So you're prepared once you do have access to go in and, feel more comfortable with it as you kind of transition into it. And we have created a promo video for LMS 1.5.
Hi, my name is Haley Spearbauer, and I am the Chief Academic Officer here at iTutor. As you likely already know, iTutor is a leading provider in solving teacher shortages, providing supplemental and core instructional supports to school districts all over the United States. We've been in this space for nearly 10 years, and we excel at providing equitable solutions for all types of schools, whether they be rural or urban, or whether they be large or very small. We thrive in opportunities where we can deploy our repository of state-certified teachers and soon-to-be subject matter experts as well to school districts to help solve their pain points. We also are continually looking for opportunities to improve. If you've been with us for a while, you already know that we regularly release updates and improvements to our systems, policies, and practices to provide better opportunities for everybody engaged in our iTutor environment. Which is why I'm incredibly excited to announce to you that iTutor has a brand new learning management system that is going to be released for all stakeholders very soon. I'm about to give you a sneak peek into this virtual environment coming soon to a screen near you. What can you expect with this new learning management system? First, ease of use is our priority, as well as making sure that the environment provides all of the necessary requirements to ensure classes take place successfully, students, educators, school administrators, and various users have the most streamlined process possible. In this initial release, we have a brand new filter and search table. This will allow all users, including educators and students, to easily find their sessions. No more confusion about where to go and when, and have the ability to have all classes associated with their individual educator. Additionally, something that our team behind the scenes is really excited about is this new learning management system has an autonomous code. That means we can continually iterate and implement new features and functionality based on educator, school admin, and user feedback. This iteration cycle and process will be well improved in terms of pace and regularity from our previous system. And last but not least, this new learning management system allows for a revamped messaging system connecting educators, students, and school administrators for their regular, continuous cycle of feedback and communication about student progress, the class environment, and student performance, both socially, academically, and emotionally. iTutor values the feedback that various users provide that allow us to make improvements like this brand new learning management system that focuses on ease of use and a productive classroom learning environment for our students and our educators. Without your feedback, many of the changes that we're implementing in this initial release would not have been possible. So thank you for spending the time that you do, answering our surveys, talking to our team members, and sharing your thoughts, as your vital opinions make these changes possible. As with all change, we know that this can sometimes be difficult to adjust to, and we want to ensure you that we have team members standing by to answer your questions, walk you through the new learning management system, and generally just reduce friction to ensure that the adoption of this new learning management system is as easy and pain-free as possible. If you have questions, you may reach out to support@itutor.com and a team member will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours to ensure that your needs are being met. We at iTutor want to thank you for being a part of this journey with us. There is no better time than now to be focusing on the needs of students. iTutor continues to partner with schools and programs in order to ensure that our students come first and that equitable solutions are available to all. Thank you.
Okay, so what is the LMS? Most of you are already on it, right? Like most of you actually are on it. And it is the site that you go to that hosts all your classes and your sessions. It hosts your educator pay portal where you can go and approve your pay. It hosts, where you submit your report cards and end of session reports, and also your messaging system. So that in itself is overall the system that's called the learning management system. So all of you are on it. And all of you are currently on LMS 1.0. And so you'll hear us kind of refer back to 1.0 and 1.5, 1.5 being the new and upcoming LMS system that is revamped and way more improved and user-friendly. So wanted to point that out. And then what is the difference between LMS and a BigBlueButton, or LMS and the classroom experience? And so we've heard a few questions and wanted to, spend this time to address some of that here. So BBB, or otherwise known as the classroom experience, is just the video streaming that happens between you and students. And so it's similar to Zoom or Google Classroom. And so it is actually integrated into the learning management system. And so BBB is actually in LMS. And so when you go into the LMS, you can launch your BBB sessions. With that said, I wanted to kind of create a visual. I'm also a visual learner. And so I created a quick visual for what is the LMS, BBB, and what does that all look like? So if you look here at the blue box, is a learning management system 1.0, which is the current LMS system that we are all currently on. So it's the one that we have been on for the last few months. It's currently where, most of our sessions are hosted. And it will be here until the spring of 2023. Now, the official timeline is that we are hoping to officially launch LMS 1.5 in the spring. So hoping to get all classes kind of migrated onto this new system, 1.5, again, in the spring. Now, there are going to be a limited selection of classes on 1.5. In the fall, as we kind of test out some, features. We have an early start program for certain school districts that have opted into trying the new LMS 1.5, and giving us feedback as we continue to improve it and, get it ready to go for spring. So I wanted to let you all know that that is the official timeline, and we want you to all be aware of that so you can be prepared come January and February. And then this red box kind of showcases our BBB, BigBlueButton virtual classroom experience. Again, it is going to be both in 1.0 and 1.5 because it is just that live streaming video conference that you have with students. And so that will be integrated into both the LMSs. It's currently the one we have right now, and it will be in 1.5 as well. All right, so Haley had in the video talked about some of the key enhances. Again, I wanted to reiterate some of the key enhances. We have an enhanced messaging system, so educators will be able to message teachers' record or students with attachments and slides and homework with content. So that's super exciting. It's easier to find who you want to message and be able to send the message to that specific individual. We have an enhanced user management system, which means that you can search, different users. So if you have like 20 students, you're like, I just need to look for these 3 students, or I just need to look for this 1 student. You can go ahead and do that with an ease, right? So we have a specific search bar that you can choose from and be able to search up students pretty quickly. And then Haley had, said that it's anonymous code as one of the key features, but it really just means we have the ability to provide system improvements pretty quickly. And so that's one of the cool things about LMS 1.5 is that as our engineering team is constructing it, they're constructing it in a way that if something doesn't work, it can go in and fix it right away. We can go in and make improvements right away. We can switch things around. That is easier for our educators and our students and our admin. And so that's one of the key improvements that we're super excited for. As you know, it's not always easy to go into a system and change a few things, but with this new system, we can do that quickly. So what do you need to know as educators kind of right now and what to expect in the future? And so, you know, we talked a little bit about the timeline earlier. LMS 1.5 will officially be launched in the spring. There are going to be a couple educators who are going to be on LMS 1.5, or I should say a few, depending on, you know, which districts are opting into the program, early access program. And if you are one of the educators who do sign up for an assignment on LMS 1.5, you know, our staffing team will reach out to you, let you know right away, like, hey, you've signed up for an assignment on 1.5. We're going to send you the link, get familiar with it. You know, we're going to make sure that you read the instructions, that you have access to all the resources, you know, that you have, you know, the option to call into our customer support team or our tech team to schedule a one-on-one to talk through LMS 1.5. So you'll get all of that on a more one-to-one and intentional basis if you do sign up for an assignment on 1.5. And, you know, right now, you know, I had said this earlier, most educators don't have access to 1.5 yet because there are two different URLs. And so you'll see that when we officially launch it, you'll get the new URL, which will then take you to the new LMS 1.5. And so that's kind of how we've been able to kind of distinguish both and make sure that's not confusing to educators.
Okay, so here is the landing screen for when you log in as an educator. As you can see already right off the bat, it's a little bit different. Those of you who have been logging into 1.5 are familiar with it. Those of you that have not, the dashboard now has this beautiful calendar that shows you the date and the classes that you have. On the right, you're going to see where normally the upcoming classes would be right in the center of the page. It's going to be to the right now where you can join the class. There's a tick down time where it'll show you exactly the same as it has always been, you know, when your class is going to start, and then your other classes to the right. If you want to scroll down, you'll have some more classes there. And then in a little bit here, we'll join the class session and launch the BBB session. So we'll join that in a little bit. What's cool about this is that you can, you know, scroll back to however many months you want to go back to see all of your classes. I'd like to show you really quick, since we're on this screen, different ways to utilize the calendar. If you want to view a past recording or a past session, you know, whatever, if you would like to see how the student did, or if you want to just watch a recording that you did just to, you know, kind of remember what you want to prepare for the next session, you can actually launch the session and then view the recording here. This is going to launch the recording. You'll just click play and you'll be able to see the BBB recording. So that's really nice. I'm not sure if any of you guys remember how you were able to view your past session recordings in the old LMS. You should be able to have done that in the old LMS 1.5, and in this one, this is how you would launch it, one of the many ways. So this is a nice calendar view here. And then again, on the right, your upcoming classes. So that is in the dashboard tab. Let's go over it now. What we're going to do now is we're just going to go down the icons on the far left-hand side. They're basically the same, you know, as the icons are in 2.0 or in 1.0. We're just going to take a little spin around the block to each icon, okay? So we're going to click on the Messages tab, which you can also go to the Messages tab over here in the upper right-hand corner, which is the same as 1.0. But in 1.5, you can click the Messages tab, and like Carol mentioned, you can compose, you can search for your user, you have access to, in your iTutor world, you have access to choose which student you want to message. If maybe there's a teacher of record you want to message, depending on if that teacher of record created their account. Each teacher of record record has their own account that they can log into if they're checking their messages. Most don't, but that is an option if you wanted to message them as well. And you've got that conversation with them when you email them at the top of the relationship when you're assigned to a student. But composing is basically the same. You have about 100 characters that you can use in the message. So, you can just message the student, say, hey, take a look at this coding material to before our next session. It's basically the same as uploading materials in 1.0. I think it's a little bit easier. You'll create a folder, Earth Science, and then you are automatically in there. It would be good if I actually knew how to spell Earth Science. So, okay, so then you're going to bring in some of your materials here and then export them and import them into your upload files. Select which file you want to add to your message, and there you go. And then you can send the message. Very easy. I think it's easier than the way that we've done it in 1.0. Okay, so then that is how you send a message and attach attachments if you want to send any work to a student or any work to a teacher of record. If a teacher of record wants to log in and send you work, they can do it that way as well. So that might be a good workaround. If you're communicating through email with your teacher of record, they can, of course, send attachments through their email, or you can have them log into their account and send it that way. All right, next we're going to move to the job boards. This one's pretty cool. If you click on the job boards, it'll expand and it'll show you if you're in New York or an all states educator. If you click on the link for New York, it's going to take you to the job portal for Sign Up Genius to the New York portal. So that's going to be where you're going to be able to access the assignments listed below. If you are an all states educator, it will take you to the all states. Okay. For the Sign Up Genius. So that one's pretty cool because before there was no link there. You kind of had to save that link separately, but now you've got a shortcut. And then the payments tab, of course. I don't have the access to log into this, but it's basically the same. It's just gonna, enter your data there. Okay. Now here's a newish feature. Before you had the ability to see the users tab. This is what the users tab looks like in your Educator account. You do have tabs up here where you can look up the students and the teacher of records, where then you can have a shortcut to send a message this way. So again, there's plenty of ways to send messages, right? You can send a message in the users tab, send a message in the message tab, or send a message up here. In the Students tab, it's not active right now, but their names should be a hyperlink that allows you to click on their names and then to see their profile page, where then you can see their IEPs, where you can see some really useful information about just who they are and any needs or anything that the student might that you might use beneficial for your classes. So that is a cool feature that we're going to be adding. It's not there yet, but it will be. But then you've got a nice filter here that allows you to filter, what school location, the student name, and some other pertinent information. Right now, it's not really useful because there's nothing else on this page you can do other than send a message or see, what list of students that you have assigned to. But eventually, their names will be clickable where you can have more information. Now, the Manage Classes tab used to be in the All Classes tab, I think, in 1.0. The Manage Classes tab is here. What's nice is that in 1.0, there'd be the Manage Users tab and then the Manage Class or the All Classes tab. They'd be separate tabs where they wouldn't really communicate with each other. They wouldn't really talk to each other. They weren't really, it'd be hard because sometimes you have to go back and forth. What's cool about the Manage Classes tab is that it's kind of a combination of both. You're going to be able to, use these really nice filters here to be able to filter exactly what you're searching for. And then these that are in orange are hyperlinks to specific bits of information that you're going to need to maybe manage some information that you'd like to take a look at. So remember in what I just mentioned here in the users tab, where you can click on the student's name, it'll take you to their data. In the manage classes tab, you can do that as well. This is actually functioning. So the way that it would work is that if you clicked on the student's name here, it's going to take you to their classes. You can see a list of their classes. You can see a list of their actual sessions that they've had, past and coming up, and what status they were in. Lots of information, start and end dates. And if you click on their profile tab, you can actually see, there's Saul Goodman, photos, some information. This is where their IEP would be. A lot of really good, it may be additional requirements, that the admin will have put. So this is really nice, that I don't believe you guys have access, that the educators would have had access to in 1.0, so that's good. So this whole profiles page is actually what you would see eventually in the users tab. Let's go back to manage classes and see what else this page is useful for. So here on the left, you'll see an ID. This is their session ID. So let's see, a student class was set up here. If you click on that session ID, it's going to take you to that session page where you can see some information. You can see the student's information, name. You can, again, click on that student's name. It'll take you to their profile. You can actually click on the view recording. So remember when you're here in the dashboard tab, you can view the recording. If you click on the session in the calendar, you can also view the session here and click view recording. And then if you press play, it'll launch the recording for you. So lots of cool little shortcuts and lots of many ways that you're able to view the information that you want to see. If you need to like for the dashboard tab, if you have lots of classes, sometimes it's hard to sift through because the names of the classes are, maybe the same. So here is a great tool for you to use if you're searching for a certain class because you have all these filters, right? So that's what's useful for this page. I'm trying to think if there's anything else useful in this page that you can see. You scroll to the right, there's just more start and end date times, period teacher of record, subject, educator name, school, student status, and ID. So if you have any of that information, you can search for them. Okay, I know that's a lot of information, so let that digest. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the drive. Drive is basically the same, we mentioned that when you're messaging a user. Here, if this is a great place for you to be able to upload some of your materials as a shortcut. So you can always, save them in your Google Drive. This is like a in-house drive where you can, like I said, you can create a folder, pull in all of your materials and save them there, and then access them in your messages tab. So if you want to save all of your stuff beforehand, then if you need to send a message later, you'll be able to access the information. ERAF science, I need to fix that. Okay, next is the My Profile tab. So My Profile tab, you can also access it if you click on your, up here in the right-hand corner, you can access it. You can also access it here on the left-hand side. You can edit your password, I believe. Maybe not. Yeah, you should be able to. Let's see, My Profile. You can edit photo. Well, you should be able to reset your password. There's a test account, so maybe it's not working for this account. But if you do need to reset your password, you should be able to here in your Profiles tab. I'm sure you guys have done it plenty of times in your 1.0 account. It's going to be the same. Okay, so then next will be the Help and Support tab. This is going to launch you straight into our support site. Where you can find a whole bunch of information. You've got a customer support site, the iTutor support materials, resources for BBB. We'll touch on that a little bit more. We're going to send you some resources for this training session, but what's nice is that you do have access to the help and support tab. If you have any questions or concerns, just pop in there. If you have any questions about how to manage any of these tabs, how to, launch a session, or how to add materials. BBB, it might be a really big thing, since we confirmed, Carol addressed that BBB is in replace of WizIQ. So that is the new classroom experience, and that is separate from the LMS. There's two different platforms. So if you need materials or resources on, training for BBB and all of that, we can definitely get you access or resources for that. But you can also go to the support tab and find them here for Educator BBB resources. Okay. There you go. Lots and lots of resources. How to access BBB, technical requirements, how to share your screen in Chrome. All right. Okay, so now let's actually launch a classroom session. So here we set up a test account. We're going to go ahead and click Join Class. And we are launching the class session now. Microphone, allow, establishing connection. I can hear myself. So yes.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
And you should be able to see your students here on the left, and some other resources here. You've got the raise your hand. We've got some tools. Carol, do you want to go into some best practices for a BBB really quick?
Yes, absolutely. So as soon as you launch the class, you can see that this live stream video is like, tab came up. And so this is officially BBB. And so you can kind of see, it kind of takes you out of the LMS system into the live stream class. And so this is officially BBB. And so some really interesting, but also cool things that we wanted to let you know on in terms of like tips and tricks to be successful in your sessions. And some things that we want to make sure that you're all aware of is if you want to, sorry, I apologize, Mel. I should have had you show them how to upload attachments. We can do that right after this. You can upload your files, your presentations, anything you want to share with the class prior to the start of the class. Important to note that you can only launch a session right when the session starts. So if the session's like, hey, start at 10:10, you can only launch it at 10:10. Unfortunately, you're not able to launch it earlier than that. So important to note that too, if you haven't been yet on, BigBlueButton since like, I think June. With that said, if you want to share a video, I love, watching videos, I love sharing videos. And so, if you want to upload a video, it can be a little difficult. It'd be a lot of, could cause an error. And so to kind of get around that, what our team has provided to educators is to pull up a video, a YouTube video, or if you have a video in your files, to pull it up first and then share your screen. And so Marilyn's going to click share your screen icon. She's going to choose the video or the screen, and then she's also going to make sure that she has clicked the audio button so that the students are on the other side can hear the video, or if you're leaving a mini lesson with a short video that when we view the mini lesson, we're able to hear the video as well, audio. So you make sure that you click on that if you want students to hear the video, and if you want to make sure that your mini lesson actually is able to hear the video that's being recorded, and then you can go ahead and share. So that's kind of how you've been able to share your video with your students or your class. Important to note too that throughout the session, you will get a banner at the top of your session that pops up with a countdown. And so pop up being like, hey, you have 10 minutes left or 15 minutes left of your session. So you are aware that like, okay, the class is going to end in 15 minutes or 10 minutes, and it'll count down for you. So you're aware as well. If you by chance want to leave your lesson a couple minutes early, we do require that our educators stay in the session for the entire duration. But let's say you got to hop out, a couple minutes early, no problem at all. What you will do is you'll click those three buttons at the top right-hand corner, and it'll give you an option to, end the meeting. So you can go ahead and end the meeting there. Let's we can show you how to add attachments for another class, but if you wouldn't mind, if you're in a session and you want to like, oh, I forgot to upload this presentation, or I forgot to upload, this a file. So what you'll do is you're gonna click on the plus sign, which is gonna be like the bottom, like towards the left. Yeah. And it's gonna say actions, and then you're gonna manage presentations. And then it's going to let you upload any files that you might have forgotten to upload, or you didn't have a chance to upload. And you can go ahead and upload your files there. Click it and then click upload. And then it will upload to that session that you're currently in. Let's see, does it pop up?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Yep, and it will pop up. And so, then you can go over it with students. And if you want to go back, let's say you have like a, two files you're kind of flipping back and forth on, go back to the plus sign that says actions. And you can actually flip back to the iTutor whiteboard. So if you're like, I want to go back to my whiteboard, go ahead and click iTutor whiteboard, and then it'll bring you back to the whiteboard. So that's kind of how you'll be able to flip between two different files, or if you have like 4 files in a presentation, you'll be able to flip through all of those in the session. Great. So then I think that's it. And then we can show them how to upload it prior, if that's okay. Okay.
So we're going to end the meeting now?
Yes, we're going to end the meeting. And also to note, if by chance you're having connectivity issues, or your laptop decides in the middle of a session to restart and update, and it does happen to myself as well, BBB may kick you out of the class, or they may end your session early. Now, if that does happen, we ask that you immediately call our tech support team to get a new session relaunched for you, so you can finish that session. So if a student didn't show up, you got, there was connectivity issues and your class ended early, call our tech team, and they will relaunch a new session for you, so you can finish the session with a mini lesson, so you get compensated. So that's something I wanted to note here too. So if you're trying to, upload materials prior to the start of a session, can you click on random session just ahead of time? So let's say I want to upload for next Wednesday. I have some materials I don't want to forget. You can go ahead and click on the session, upload materials, and be able to upload materials there. Now, the really cool thing about this feature is that you can upload materials, leave the page, and it will continue to stay there. So you don't have to worry about the materials. Like if you close a tab, you won't have to worry about it it disappearing, or you having to go back in and reload it. It should stay there. So when you launch the class next Wednesday, you'll be able to see, yep, there we go. You'll be able to have it there already. And so Marilyn talked a little bit about resources, virtual office hours, what's right now available. And so quickly want to go through again, just reiterate where you can find resources and how we can support you in the process. And so most of you have access or have already been on the iTutor Educator portal, which is our Google site portal, which has a bunch of really cool supportive tips, information on mini lessons, resources. Marilyn showed you that support site earlier. But we also have that LMS help button that, when we were in the LMS 1.5, Marilyn clicked on help and support and was able to bring you up to the support site. But we also have virtual open hours that are available to educators. And so that's Tuesdays and Thursdays currently, 5 to 6 Eastern, I should say, that you can pop in and out. I know a few educators like, hey, I just pop in for a quick question, I'm going to leave. I'm like, totally fine. Or if you want to, stay there for a while and do a demo with us, just hop in and we can kind of support with whatever you need. But yes, please email us at customer support at iTutor.com if you have more questions, more issues pop up. We'd be happy to support. Again, thank you all for attending. We hope that this information session was helpful and informative, and you were able to learn a little bit more about iTutor, as well as get some of your questions answered. So thank you all.